Ara Ara. Hey guys, welcome back to the season 3 of the Ara Ara Channel. And I'm your host Vibs, and with me today is my usual co-host Amy. Hi Amy, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you, Viv?
I'm good too, and it's been so long as I've mentioned in our intro. And I don't even remember when was the last time we recorded the podcast episode.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while for sure.
Yeah, and today there's a lot of things that has happened to us over the past few months. We've been attending events. You've started cosplaying.
Yeah.
How was it?
I don't know, like I really liked it. I mean, I think it's fun. I really enjoyed cosplaying for the first time. It's because like we both started watching One Piece after
Yeah.
ignoring it for so long. And I
Imagine.
yeah, like both of us over the years, so many people sort of telling us, "Hey, watch it," and we're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then we finally did, and then the first thing I will cosplay is One Piece,
Yeah.
and I cosplayed as Luffy, and yeah, I don't know, it was also sort of serendipitous in a way because like I was outside and I passed by this thrift store and I saw this red jacket. What's it called?
Like a
Like
blouse or a top or something.
yeah, like this red top that you put like over. And then
Ah,
it
okay.
sort of resembled Luffy's outfit in the New World. I'm like, hold on a second. Like, that looks exactly like Luffy's outfit, like if it was made for a girl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Why not? And then in the same thrift store, like, I was like, all right, if I'm gonna do Luffy, Luffy wears sandals, which has like a black cross.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I'm gonna dress up as Luffy, I want heels that has like a black cross
Yeah.
in the middle and stuff. It was there in the same thrift store, and I'm like, okay, well, I might as well. So it was really fun.
And I
Yeah,
like how resourceful your costume was because it's mostly things that you can find in your closet. It's not something that you have to really have made or something. Because I remember the time that I first started cosplaying, it was the same thing. It's just things that I can find in my closet. Doesn't have to be super fancy, and it's fun. And I hope you won't fall in the rabbit hole, but let's see.
no, it's too expensive. I think it's sort of
Yeah.
like those what's the term for it? Wait, let me just search for the term.
Like the rabbit holes that we've been getting ourselves into lately, Amy, it's just insane. Remember the time that we were having collaboration with Otaku ME and with the
Yeah,
Gundams and all? Like, I am this close. I'm this close to buying more. So I was like, let's stop here while I can still, control myself because I won't have space for the Gundams. Because see, even in my back, like I have the Funko Pops there and the Gundam is there. Anyway, oh, you were looking for the certain term?
I really forget what the term is, but it's like if you go to Disneyland, for example, you cannot fully dress as like a Disney princess, but you can,
Mm,
yeah, because then like you might ruin the experience for the kids because they might think that, let's say, you're actually
the Disney
Rapunzel, for
princess, yeah.
example, yeah, and then let's say you're being rude to the kid, they're gonna think like, oh, Rapunzel's really mean. So you can't really dress up in Disneyland, but you can wear certain things that would resemble an out like let's say
Mm,
you could I don't know, wear let's
pink
say
dress
wear
or
Mickey
something.
Mouse
And
ears or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, wear Mickey Mouse ears and like your outfit can resemble her dress, but you can't fully be Mickey Mouse, for example. Something like
Mm.
that. Or Minnie Mouse rather.
Like close, but not that close.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't remember the exact term for it, but
yeah.
I think that's the most I would do in terms of cosplay. I don't think I would fully
Full,
get
yeah.
into it. It's expensive. But then again, I don't know. We say a lot of things and we change over the years. So
Yeah. Yeah, like One Piece and then now
yeah.
cosplay. Because I remember there was a time that I asked you, would you even try cosplaying at least once? And you're like, nah, it's not for me. Because, I remember you saying particularly that you don't feel you would be into it or you would try it. But look at you now. So yeah, speaking of cosplaying, we attended MEFCC where, as you've mentioned, you've cosplayed Luffy, and I was cosplaying as Nico Robin. Look at us! I miss Trix. Suddenly, she was like the big One Piece fan who's telling
Oh
us,
yeah.
"Watch it,
Yeah.
watch it."
She was one of those people just telling us, watch One Piece, you better watch One Piece. And we're like, yeah, okay, okay.
Who has time to watch 1,000 episode worth of anime? Like,
And now we've become those people, or at least I have. Like whenever I meet people and they're like, "Oh, what are you watching now?" and I'm like, "Oh, I'm watching the show One Piece." These could be people who aren't into anime, right? So
yeah.
so I have to explain like it's this anime and it has like 1,000 plus episodes, but I swear to God, it's so worth it. And they look at me like I'm insane.
Girl, to be fair, I'm now in Thriller Bark. So I finished Enies Lobby, Water 7. And out of all One Piece episodes that I've watched, I really feel like Water 7 to Enies Lobby was one of the best arcs of One
Mm.
Piece. The way that they did the story. And bro, like after Enies Lobby, the way that they showed the old characters, Kobe was there, Helmeppo was there, Garp was introduced, blah blah blah. So moving on from One Piece, because this is not a One Piece episode. This is still the first episode of our season 3. I want to talk about MEFCC. So how was the experience like, and how was it overall for the both of us? Because for me, it's my first MEFCC, even though I've been in UAE for like 4 years maybe. And I
Mm.
think you mentioned to me before that your first MEFCC was the actual first. How was the experience for you, for someone who've attended MEFCC before? And obviously, I will also share mine.
When MEFCC was first here, I will still stand by it. I think a lot of people would agree with me as well that it was probably the best one. It was huge. Or maybe I'm remembering it from a lens where I was a lot younger. I don't know. But for me, I remember it being like really huge, and it worked a lot like how cons worked in other countries. Like you had a lot of celebrities just roaming around and it was fine. And they invited really big, let's say Hollywood writers and film directors and all of that. And they had their own panels. All these workshops were happening all at the same time. You could choose which one you wanted to go to. And there was a lot of competitions and there was a lot of games, a lot of sponsors at that time as well. I remember back then, Men in Black 3, I want to say, was new, or two or three was new at that time. And then there was like a game that you had to sort of pick. You know those games where like you have to match,
Mm.
and then I ended up winning tickets. And at that time, it was, I don't know if I won it individually, and my boyfriend at that time won it individually for himself, or I won it and it was two tickets, something like that. It was nice. I was like, oh my god, yeah, we got to watch a movie together. And but yeah, that was the first movie I think I watched together with my boyfriend at the time. But yeah, that's besides the point. Um, but yeah, no, it was a lot like that. But as compared to now, where celebrities are like super exclusive now, you have to pay so much money, like a crazy ton of money, just to take one photo with them. For me, that's
Insane.
something I
Yeah.
miss. Yeah, and it's insane. I don't think anywhere else in the world works like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Be
I feel like
wrong.
it's the same in the Philippines. Like, the free roam of the artist. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, if you pass by, let's say Alodia, for example, you could just take a photo with her and stuff. But now, if she comes, it's like, oh no, you cannot, like, you'll never see Alodia walking around the con, for
Mm-mm.
example. That's not
Mm-mm.
a thing here. Like the celebrities are in their own, I don't know, booth somewhere, and you
Yeah.
can only see them if you pay to see them.
Yeah. True. True.
So
I mean, I think in the Philippines, it's the same thing that you have to pay to see artists, and maybe the time that Alodia was roaming around was when she's not super popular as
oh no,
she
no, she
is now.
was super popular.
No,
She was super popular back then.
I mean in the Philippines, like
Ah, okay.
how different it is. Because obviously in the Philippines, everyone in a convention will be able to recognize Alodia, but maybe
Hmm.
here in the UAE, she's not as popular as she is in the Philippines. So that's the major difference. But anyway, moving on. So for me, MEFCC, it's my first time attending. We've been attending events the past few months. I mean, not as avid as we would like, but I feel MEFCC is the biggest that we've attended together. It's actually fun. I just feel bad that we only went there for a day and we
Yeah.
didn't get to experience a lot of the booths, because we went there for content. Obviously, we shot our video for YouTube, and aside from that, meeting our friends, having fun. But it's not enough. The one day is not enough to do all of that. Like, I feel like next time, for us to fully enjoy the convention, we have to at least attend 2 days or maybe 3 days if we
The
can.
whole
But
2 days.
since
Yeah.
since the beginning, I was telling you, Amy, that I'm not at that age where I can attend a convention for 3 days. Where do they get the energy? Like, this is not for me anymore. But let's see, because like
Yeah,
it's so tiring.
yeah, but I think like with MESCC, because there was like so much happening at the same time, the three
Mm-mm.
days sort of helps you not feel so tired and divide things properly, which
Ah,
is what
okay.
I think we realized at that time because we were
Yeah.
like, yes. tired. Oh my god. Like, can we just go home?
Because to
And
be fair, we were running from one place to another. Like
from both ends.
there's no breaks. Because what happened was, I think we arrived around 2 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Around
Yeah, because it starts at 12. That's the other
yeah,
thing. Like, it's too short of a time for it to start at 12.
yeah.
So,
So anyway, going back, we reached there at 2, and then I remember you have an interview with Yoichi Takahashi. That's why we
yeah.
were planning to be really early, but obviously since it was traffic and all, traveling from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, so you had an interview with Yoichi Takahashi, and then we took a short break. We had a picture taken with Inaki, and then after that, shot our content, and then another picture taking this time with Taz, Skylar. So it was like, just running around the whole time. So now going back, I want to know, how was the experience interviewing Yoichi Takahashi-san?
Yeah, it was truly a very new experience for me. It was the first time for me to hold a panel, to be a moderator,
Mhm.
and to interview someone as big as Yuichi Takahashi. For that, it just happened unexpectedly. It was like MEFCC reached out because of our content, of course, because
Yeah.
of the Ara Ara channel. And because of that, they told me to like send a few questions beforehand, and I sent them over, and it was very related to Captain Tsubasa. So for
Mhm.
those that don't know Yuichi Takahashi, he is the creator of Captain Tsubasa, which is one of the pioneers in sports anime. And then on the day itself, I met with the translator. We went through the questions together just to see if there were any questions I wasn't supposed to ask, or if there was anything I couldn't say. So one of the things I couldn't say actually was call him Captain Majid. So for our audiences that are not in the UAE, Captain Shabasa's name here in the Middle East is Captain Majid, and he's really big here in the MENA region. Like, people in the Middle East love football, and one of their iconic anime when they were a kid was Captain Majid. But that was the thing, I wasn't allowed to call him Captain Majid in my interview. That's something they told me when I spoke with the translator. I only had to refer to the character as Captain Tsubasa. Other than that, I didn't really have any questions that I couldn't ask. All my questions were okay. But the thing is, like, I gave like a long list of questions. Like, it was a really long list. And then the translator was like, "This is a really long list of questions." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's just in case, because this is a 30-minute session, just to be safe."
Backup. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just backup. And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I think, we'll not even do half of these. So yeah, it's fine, whatever." We get on stage, and then I'm asking the questions, and I don't know at this point if it was a translation thing or if it was the way he answered, because I don't know Japanese to know
What he's
where
saying,
it
yeah.
was, to
Yeah.
know where the issue, it not really issue was, but where like things got lost in translation, because the answers were really short, and I'm like, "Oh no." And it
No,
was
but
very
really,
hard.
to be honest, that's how he answered. Like when you asked him something, he just like, yeah. And then there's no further explanation. Or if there was a further explanation, it's very short. So that's why I
I
feel like even the translator was like,
Yeah,
maybe she's also nervous. I don't know, but like it was very short answers. So yeah.
I tried to like obviously prolong it, just try to take something from his answers, but there was not much I could work on. And then next thing I know, I'm almost done with my questions. And then I still had 20 minutes left. I'm like, "What? Please, God, this would
that
only be half."
that
I'm like,
must
"Oh
have
no."
been the longest 20 minutes of your life on stage, and you're like,
On stage, and then people are there staring, and obviously, like, this is Captain Tsubasa is super iconic here. So like the audience is like really anticipating and like hanging on every word this man is saying. And now if I can't prolong this for the next 20 minutes, like, oh no. I can't go like, "Hey guys, this is my first time. I'm really sorry, by the way." Like, so I don't know, peek in my brain, like, all right, what do I know about Captain Tsubasa that I haven't asked or that I haven't written down? It's one of those anime, for me at least, that I didn't follow the series, but I
mm,
know about
you're
from
familiar, yeah.
seeing, like, yeah, like from seeing on TV or something. So just like try to figure out something, and it was fun. The spontaneous questions actually ended up being more fun, and I think the like one of the most fun questions I asked on stage was
The
like,
controversial
I remember
question.
that was a controversial question. I remember, oh my god. So I was like, so I have a bit of a controversial question for you. And then the translator smiles at me, and then I see like the organizers downstairs, and they're like hanging on to my every word. What the heck is this girl gonna say? Oh, I have a bit of a controversial question. And I give like the longest pause, and I feel like the organizers wanted to take me down. Yell
Like,
like stop, whatever that is, just shut up, you know. And then the way they were staring at me, and then the way everyone like kind
breathe.
of and breathe. I felt that on stage when she translated it to Takahashi as well. He also laughed.
Yeah.
And then he also answered, and I think everyone was happy with his response for that question. That was one of the fun moments. But I think also one of the reasons why his answers were really short
Mm.
was also because I think like his old age. I think he
Yeah.
felt really tired as well. I've asked the people like you guys, my friends who were sitting, like, if it was obvious for you guys if he looked tired. And for you guys it wasn't obvious, but sitting next to him I could tell how tired he was. I mean, I understand his age and like how long the event was. If we were tired in our age, for sure,
They're
whatever he
more
went
tired,
through,
yeah.
the lights, the cameras, yeah, for sure he was more tired. So
Yeah, and not only that, because imagine for us, we were tired shooting our content for a whole day. But imagine he was there, he flew from somewhere and then entertaining people, taking photos with them, autograph and stuff. So it's really hard. Definitely understandable that he couldn't answer in a very longer manner, elaborate what he wants to say. But yeah, overall, the experience was cool. Honestly, like watching you, and I was like the stage mom, like, go baby, go. I was like rushing with my phone, and I'm like, let me record this. Like, like just the mom there sitting in the audience, watching Amy recording. I mean, interviewing Mr. Yoichi Takahashi. So, yeah, that was fun. And then next after that is we had photo session with Inaki. So, how was our
yes.
photo session, huh, Amy? Huh?
If you watched one of our episodes with Trixie, I can't really pinpoint which one,
Mm.
you would know that out of all the One Piece live action characters, you know how like all the women are like, oh my god, McKenny or Kaz?
Spongy.
No, like
Yeah.
for me it's Inuyaki. Oh no. And then, oh my god, I got to see Inyaki, right? So I'm like, let me retouch my face. And this is literally right after my interview with Yuichi Takahashi. So it's not like my makeup's gone, but I'm like, you know what? I still have to retouch my makeup. And like, we were in line. And
But to be
then,
fair, wait, before that, we honestly thought, so see, it's my first time doing these photos with artists, and it's probably yours too, Amy. But we didn't know that we can attend as a group in the
oh
picture.
yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
since we are two broke girls, we were like, okay, let's divide and conquer because they don't allow group photos anymore. Amy, you do Inyaki and then I'll do Taz. And then we were in
Yeah.
the queue for Inyaki, and you're like, oh yeah, you can take photo as a group. And we looked at each other like, okay, let's do this. And then this girl, while we were in the queue, started putting on her makeup and like, just checking everything. I cannot even talk to her. She was just like, and me being supportive, girl, fix this. Your eyeliner, you need to, fix it. And she's like, oh, okay, okay. And then when we went in, what happened next, Amy? Huh? Tell them.
So we went in, and then he goes, because I was wearing Luffy. So Inyaki goes, oh my god, it's Luffy. And then he's like, oh, you look really good. You look really good. And I'm like, thank you, thank you. And then he talks to you, and he's like, no, Robin, it's Robin. And then
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, you know Rico Robin. That's so cool. And then he goes back to me, like he holds my shoulder and he steps back, and he's like, you look good, that's Luffy. And then he pats my head. He goes, good Luffy. And then my soul left my body because I do not remember anything after that. I know there were photos taken, but I don't know. I don't
So
know. I was gone.
let me do the storytelling now, because for sure your soul left your body and you don't remember anything. So what happened was when we entered, then as Amy said, like, oh, Luffy, you look so good. And then to me, he recognized that I'm Nico Robin, which I am surprised, honestly, because I wasn't expecting him to know or to have watched at least the anime, because not everybody watches anime. Let's admit that. So like I
Hmm.
was happily surprised when he said that, oh, Nico Robin, and then took photos like, 1 2 3, and then the photographer was guiding us what to do, like, oh, okay, different pose, blah blah, blah, do this, yeah. And then afterwards, that's when he looked at you. You're like, good Luffy. And then, girl, he was still talking to you, and you suddenly, like, went out. And I was like, oh. Because he was still talking. He was like, "Thank you so
I
much
did
for your
not hear
support."
anything.
And what I had to do was like, I spoke to him like, "Oh yeah, thank you so much, thank you. It's really nice meeting you, blah blah." And you weren't saying anything to him.
He probably thinks I'm the biggest snob ever. Like I just went to take photos and went like bye.
Like that's it, bye. Without knowing that you were dying right at that moment when he touched your Luffy hat or just the straw hat, like it's like it was the first time I saw Amy like that, honestly. Because I feel like you're the person who never gets starstruck with artists or with people or like having a crush with someone. I've never seen Amy like that. And that's why the first time I saw it like that, she was just like dead.
Yeah. No, because you know me, like I work with like celebrities or influencers. Like I don't get starstruck. But it's like what you said, you never see me like have a crush or go head over heels over someone. I remember when I told you afterwards, I was like, if God says like, hey, heaven has no free trials, you need to like die now, like it's fine. I'd be like, yes, okay, that's fine. I understand. So no, because I feel like when I like someone, and the rare occasion that I like someone, I feel like I'm Boa Hancock.
uh,
She's a character that's very immune to like the male gaze or whatever.
mhm.
I mean, in that sense, I don't swoon over people or celebrities. But when I do, it's like the things that go on in my head, it's like it's too much.
The voices are too much.
It's like the feelings are too much.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because see, I saw the complete opposite when we took photos with Taz. Complete 180. I
Mhm.
swear. Remember, we were talking about how you were putting on makeup, you were so conscious,
Yeah.
and then what did we do after photo with Taz? With
We
Inaki?
with Inaki, we went to see their panel.
Was it
We
right
went to see the
away?
panel. Not right away. We ate a little bit
Yeah, we
and then we
ate.
went to see their panel.
Yeah, and then sat on their panel, and then they were talking about One Piece, obviously, like how was the
Yeah.
experience in Abu Dhabi and stuff. And then afterwards, we were in the queue for Taz. So
Mm.
right after that, I was the one retouching my makeup and like fixing. Oh, okay, do I still look okay? Blah blah. And this girl is just like la 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 la, standing there like. Not even checking her face in the mirror anymore. She's like, it's fine, it's fine. And the thing is, when we took photos with Iñaki, it was so fast. Like tap tap tap. That's it. Let's prepare something. Maybe let's do a pose with Sanji. Like One Piece pose or something. Because like we didn't get to prepare and we didn't know what to expect with Iñaki. So
Yeah.
with Taz, we know how it will be. Like enter, take photos, and that's it. Now you tell the story. This time, my mind was the one that went away. Like
Um,
although this stole the spotlight.
I I didn't intend to steal any spotlight because you know that I'm like I was joking around as well when we were in the queue because Biz was basically saying like you don't really care much about tasks because she was like comparing that I was just like standing there. I'm like
Yeah,
okay, we're gonna take a photo, it's fine. And then she was like, you don't care that much, huh? I'm like, yeah. And I was joking. I'm like, oh, he's like my friend, like from back in
yeah.
school. I'd just be like, hey, what's up? Oh, I can't believe you're like in One Piece now. One Piece is that the show, you know? So, so yeah, we finally go in. He recognizes Luffy, and then he had his hand out, and he was like, hey, what's your name? And then I'm like, oh, it's Amy. And then he goes to Vivs, and he's like, what's your name? And then she says, Vivs.
Yeah.
Vivs. And then he says, like, oh, Vibs, like, is that your real name? Is that for real? And then she's like, no, 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 it's just a nickname. And then we take the photos, and then we also request like, hey, is it fine if we take a photo like a One Piece styled photo? And he's like,
Mhm.
oh, should I go like this? And then he does the Sanji pose, and then we're like, yeah, yeah, like that. Yeah. After that, he says bye, and like he shakes my hand again, like bye, Amy, like bye, and then we leave.
Just let me retell the story because when you tell story, that's not how it happened. I mean, it did happen like that, but you're missing crucial details. Huh? You're missing
It's crucial for
very
you.
crucial details that you tend to forget, even with Inyaki. Huh? Excuse me. Excuse me. So, what happened was we entered. He said hi to you. He was looking straight at you with those, sparkly, sparkly eyes. And then he looked at me, and then obviously he said hi, but he didn't say anything about me wearing Nico Robin. He didn't say Robin Swan. He didn't say that. No, no reaction like that. So I think he didn't watch the anime, which is okay, fine. He asked for our names, as you said, like what's your name, blah blah blah. We took photos, did the One Piece pose, and then he said goodbye to me, and then shook my hand, and then he lingered at you, he stared at you, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much for coming." Oh, blah blah blah, with the hand like this, and I was like, and he was like, "Huh, yeah, sure, thanks, bye." And I was like, "You didn't see the sparkle? You didn't see the, you know,
No.
like that's why right after we exited the booth, I told her, "Don't come with me next time. I swear, I now
No,
have a grudge against Amy.
yeah,
No
no, our
more group
editor asked us
photos."
as well for group photos. She's like, we shouldn't have found out it was a group photo. Like group
Yeah,
photos were okay.
yeah,
Like, don't come with me next time.
yeah. Don't come
So,
with
and
me.
then our editor asked us like, what would hurt more, or what was more annoying, like if you went on your own and that was your interaction with Taz, or like going together with Amy. And then you were like, oh no, going together with Amy is worse because there's a point of comparison that you can
Yeah,
directly see. Like even if I told you the story, it wouldn't be the same as like
yeah,
seeing
because
it
you don't
happen.
see. You don't see the sparkles. That's what I'm saying. I can compare because, like, if I went there and he hi to me, asked me my name, thank you so much, see you again soon, that's gonna be fine. But like, if I can see the difference of the interaction, I was like, I swear, no more group photos with you with my crushes. You see, the funny thing is, should we say this on the podcast? I don't know. Amy's preference is towards what?
Nothing in particular. Nothing in particular, but based on experience. Based on experience. So like I never really realized I had a type until my boyfriend pointed out that I always had a thing for people with glasses. I don't know, maybe eyesight problems are a thing for me. Like if they wear glasses for some reason, like I always say, "Oh my god, that guy's so cute," and my boyfriend just points out, like, he just has glasses on, right? And then so that's number one. Like I guys who have glasses, and number two, it's Asian looking, not Asian looking guys, but guys who have like smaller eyes. Like they could be, I don't know, they could be any race, but if their eyes are a little smaller, like I tend to find that really cute. Now, based on experience though, the guys that have been into me have been more of the Caucasian race, or at least based on what Vivs and I have noticed
Yeah.
from hanging out. If they were Caucasian, usually like they would hit on me. So that was the thing. And then so she was like, "No, what? Like we forgot that Taz was Caucasian." So so that's why he paid more attention to you. And I'm like, I don't think he really paid that much attention to me. I think you're just seeing it that way.
You forgot what happened with Inaki, and you're also forgetting what happened with Taz. I don't trust your judgment, honestly, with these kinds of things. But yeah, so what happens is, for me, I have a preference with Caucasians. Like I like Caucasian men and stuff, but they almost never pay attention to me, or they almost never like me, you know. And it's really quite the opposite for us, because like I don't know. I don't want to talk about this anymore. But yeah, I just felt so brokenhearted at that time.
No, because like the only thing on my mind that time was because we came from the panel. Inyaki in the panel mentions that he was like where he currently was at in One Piece is like he's towards the end of
Mm,
Fishman Island.
mm.
And I was also when I was watching at that period of time, also towards the end of Fishman Island. And so in my Delulu mind, I'm like, oh my god, we're so meant to be. So like so like Taz is just there.
Yeah. And Taz refuses to answer, any, not refuses, but he's dodgy whenever he's being asked anything in particular about One Piece, like, oh, which arc are you guys watching? And he's like, I'm not gonna say, or something. So, okay, I understand. But for Inyaki, I feel like he's very much into One Piece now. And oh, by the way,
Yeah.
there's a question that I wanted to ask you. So this question, I've asked this on a podcast that I attend on every Sunday, and
Okay.
I kind of felt a tinge of disappointment when Taz didn't recognize me as Nico Robin. At least just an acknowledgement that I'm also cosplaying One Piece character, unlike how Luffy did or Inyaki did. What would you feel if Luffy didn't, or Inyaki didn't feel as passionate for Luffy as we've seen? Or like artist who is not as passionate as us for the source
Hmm.
material? What would you feel about that?
I would be okay with it
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like if I had a role, I would research as much as possible for the role, be that character, etc., etc. But that doesn't mean that I would fully dive into
Mm-hmm.
the entire source material. Like even for my interview with Yoichi Takahashi, for example, maybe there would be people who would, I don't know, like really binge the show before the interview. But for me, I just kind of did like a really quick research as much as possible for what I could gain in the small period of time that I had, and based off my questions on that. So it could go both ways, where it's like maybe a super fan probably could have been disappointed in some of my questions,
Mhm.
right? Like, oh, like she doesn't know that much about Captain Tsubasa. Like she shouldn't have been the one to interview Yuichi Takahashi. I should have been the one because I'm like a super fan, which perhaps, but it's also sort of, you can't be a super fan of everything. So you can only work with the resources that you have at a particular time.
Mhm.
And I guess even with Taz being Sanji, I don't think he necessarily had all the time to really watch One Piece or read the manga and all of that stuff. He could have researched a lot about Sanji and how Sanji is as a character, but not necessarily have the time to delve into One Piece. So I wouldn't feel too bad. As long as he is portraying the character and giving justice to the character and people love what they see, I think that's fine.
Because, like, for me as a fan, most of the time, you will feel an extra connection of some sort when the person who is playing the role is really a fan of the source material. Let's say, for example, Witcher, Geralt,
Mm,
having Henry Cavill
Henry
play as
Cavill.
Geralt. Why do we revere him as the best Geralt ever? It's because he knows source material from front to back. He technically
Mm,
tells the writer what to do, and like he has this passion for the craft that no other actor can provide for the show, which is
mm.
what made him special for us. His dedication and all of the fine details of the characters that he has played was there. And now we feel a bit disappointed after him leaving the show and now being recast with Liam Hemsworth, right? You already have the best, and now you will be served a Class A model, which, even though, to be fair with Liam, we haven't seen the show, but fans already has this standard of what we're expecting for Geralt. So when Taz didn't recognize me as Nico Robin, I felt that twinge of disappointment, as I've mentioned earlier, because I can see that he's dedicated to his craft. He did kickboxing, he started to learn how to cook to be, very
Mm,
accurate to the show. Or anime in itself is maybe not his cup of tea, but I do feel bad if an actor says that they're only doing this because it's a job given to them. Like, it's just a role. That's it. As a point of view of a fan, but I cannot expect everyone to be a fan. But at the same time, just, maybe respect the source material, because, like, to be fair, they also mentioned this in the other podcast that I attend, that who is this guy? Have you seen The Last of Us?
yeah, I
Yeah,
have. Pedro
so
Pascal?
yeah, so they're saying that Pedro Pascal did a really amazing job playing as Joel in The Last of Us, even though he hasn't played the game. He doesn't even know The Last
Mm,
of Us as a game. So he still did well. So I guess it all depends on the person doing the role and how they translate the director's or the writer's
yeah, vision, yeah.
vision. So yeah, just had that thought in my mind because yeah, that's it.
I think Taz does a really good job as Sanji. But yeah,
Did
I
you like his
understand.
acting?
Yeah, I genuinely did. I love how all the characters translated their version of the anime into the live action.
Another reason why I brought that topic up is that even on stage when they were doing the panel, Iñaki was very much like Luffy, Luffy in the flesh. Like how he
Mm.
talks, how he carries himself, and I feel like won't it be hard for him to get future roles if people cannot separate Luffy from Iñaki anymore? The way that Harry Potter
Hugh
is
Jackman
with,
and Wolverine.
yeah, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and Iron Man with,
Robert Downey Jr.
yeah, like that. So I don't know.
I don't think he would necessarily have a hard time getting roles just because we associate him with Luffy. Because, like, for
Hmm.
example, we have Macy Williams, who we associate very much with Arya. But
Yeah,
after Game of Thrones, she got a lot of projects. Or let's say Robert Pattinson with Edward Cullen. And even till now, like, even if you still associate them with these roles or don't know more of their other work, doesn't mean that other producers wouldn't want to work with them, because they will still try to cast them into things because they know that super fans will still follow the works of this
yeah.
one particular person, and they could still get a box office hit from just having this particular person. So
Yeah.
yeah. And that's really up to the actor. If they start translating their characters into their other films as that character, like how you have Christian Bale. He's very versatile. He plays different sort of characters in different genres and different films. If you as an actor can translate different characters onto the screen, even if you had that initial association, people will
Mhm.
still revere you as a really good actor in your future projects, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. But again, it depends on the actor themselves, right? If they can be as
Yeah,
flexible. Because at the end of the day,
yeah.
it all depends on them. Yeah, because I feel like there are some actors who cannot get out of their role anymore. Very
Mm,
few, but let's see how this will pan out because obviously One Piece live action will take so many years, of
yeah,
their lives.
yeah.
Imagine Game of Thrones, right? And congratulate me for watching Game of Thrones for the first time ever in my whole
I
life.
know. Congratulations. We never know. He could also be typecasted into certain roles, like how you have Emma Stone, for example, who always almost has the same role in every movie. So
Yeah,
yeah, as that like
stereotypical
aloof
role.
girl. Yeah, you know. So
Yeah.
he might just be typecasted into different films. It really depends on the projects and the actor themselves.
So let's see what will happen with the One Piece live action and also with Ara Ara. Anything you want to promote, Amy?
Nothing new. Just follow me at Just Amy Thing on our socials, and of course, follow the Ara Ara channel as well. And what about you, Vince?
Yeah, so for me, guys, just follow me at Instagram at VivsBlackMage and also on Twitch at the same handle at VivsBlackMage. So let us know what you think of this episode and welcome back to the Ara Ara channel for our season 3. So watch out for our upcoming episodes soon. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening and you have a wonderful day. Bye!